Hello there, kia ora. Do you know what it is that customs actually do? Because it's a lot more than just stamping your passport and checking your luggage when you come into the country and finding something that's rather oddly phallic shaped and pulling it out and asking you super awkward questions in front of your mum. Totally not based on a real thing. No, customs is actually one of our most diverse organizations because they are literally there to guard the gates to the country. So they have a lot of different things that they deal with. It might be something like counterterrorism, which they're heavily involved in. They're part of our intelligence security networks, or something like the protections of our horticulture and agriculture industries by making sure that nothing is introduced that could cause them irreparable damage. Things like tariffs and levies and fees for people who are importing stuff or exporting stuff all goes through customs. Those massive drug busts that you might hear about happening offshore, customs. That's all them. They're in charge of just about anything that happens with our border. And for the government to turn around and say that they should be an organization that has to start winding things back to save some money, well, that's kind of dangerous for a number of reasons. For a start, it's not actually a big taker of government money. In fact, customs is one of the best examples we've got of why you cannot run a government like a business. It's not there for profit, it's there for the protection of this country in all sorts of different ways. But 70% of the operating costs for customs comes through things like fees and levies and fines. Only 30% of that operating cost comes from the government. And we need that to happen. We need to make sure that this is an organization that's going to keep going and doing what it needs to do to, again, keep us all safe, literally. The government demanding rollbacks here in terms of staffing, people wanting to take voluntary redundancies or early retirement, what that indicates is that they don't have a real grasp of what's going on in this particular area, why it's so important. Or they do, and they're just being really callous about it. When it comes to the idea of a frontline service, which Nicola Willis promised us was not going to be touched by their budget cuts to give tax breaks to the landlords and the wealthy, this is the very definition of that. You don't get more of a frontline service than what customs does. They're there to protect us. They're there to look after our economy, our environment, our country, our own personal physical safety. And to cut that back, to roll that back, well, it just goes to show you exactly where the priorities are for this government. Again, it's tax cuts for the wealthy and landlords. It's not the ordinary, everyday citizens. Never was, is never going to be with them.